Imagine you're playing poker. You lose one hand, no big deal. You shrug it off and you just wait for the next opportunity. Then you lose another and another. Suddenly, something changes, and you're no longer playing to make good decisions. You're playing to get your money back. The game hasn't changed. The odds and probabilities of winning certain hands haven't changed either, but your mindset has. Now, every decision is driven by one thought: I need to win it back. And this just doesn't happen in poker. It happens in casinos, in sports betting, in investing, and it happens to traders every single day. Revenge trading, it's not really about the money if you look at it. It's about something much deeper. It's something about our brain's inability to accept an unfinished emotional experience. And until we understand why that happens, we'll keep making the same expensive mistakes. You see, when people hear the phrase revenge trading, they imagine somebody slamming their desk, yelling at a screen, or doubling down their positions out of frustration. And sometimes that happens, but more often than not, revenge trading is much, much quieter. It begins with disappointment. Like you followed your plan, like the setup looked perfect, a premium setup, A plus plus setup, but then the price reverse. Your stop loss gets hit, and you stare at the chart, and a thought appears, bruh, bruh. Like that should have not happened. It's a simple sentence, but hidden inside it is resistance. You're no longer accepting what happened, you're arguing with reality. So you see, human beings naturally seek closure, right? Like think about your favorite television series or your favorite Netflix um, show. Imagine watching every season and only for the final episode to end in the middle of the story. Like there's no conclusion, there's no ending. It's just blank screen. Like you're waiting for the next thing to happen, and there's just no follow up. And your brain keeps thinking about it. Trading losses often creates the same psychological effect. A stopped out trade feels so incomplete, and emotionally, your brain wants to finish the story. It wants justice, it wants balance, it wants to create and to erase the uncomfortable feeling the loss created. It wants to create something of a winning nature. But unfortunately, the market does not owe us any emotional closure. Like objectively, a losing trade is simply one outcome within a long series of probabilities. But emotionally, it feels much bigger. It feels like rejection, failure, embarrassment, especially if you spend hours and hours of preparing, or if you proudly shared your trade idea with your friends and now it's not going to plan, and your account just took a hit. Guess what? Like your confidence did too. Your identity becomes attached to the outcome. And that's when trading becomes so dangerous, because the next trade is no longer about the market. It's about you trying to repair how you feel. So imagine somebody accidentally scratches your brand new car. Even if the damage is minor, like you can't stop looking at it, your attention keeps returning to the scratch. And trading losses work the same way. Our brains naturally give more attention to negative experiences than positive ones. And psychologists calls this the negativity bias. Like one losing trade can occupy your mind even though you just had like five winning trades in a row. And that's why recovering the loss becomes so emotionally important. Not because the dollar amount matters. Yes, it does, but because your brain wants relief, and it mistakenly believes that another willing trade will provide that relief. So listen, here's where revenge trading becomes so dangerous. After taking a loss, many traders believe that they need another trade immediately, not tomorrow, not next week, like now. Because sitting with this loss feels uncomfortable. So what do? Like they force an entry. They take a meteor core setup that's not even in their plan, and they ignore their checklist. They increase their position size, like anything just to escape the emotional discomfort. And notice what's happening here. The market is not creating the next trade, right? Your emotions are, and emotions rarely produce quality decisions. And honestly, this is one of the hardest truths in trading. The market has no memory of your last trade. It doesn't know that you lost money. It doesn't know that you're frustrated. It does not care that you're trying to recover. Every trading setup is completely different. Yet so many traders behave as though the market owes them something. It took money from me. I deserve to get it back. Like, they keep saying that to themselves, but the market does not take, they don't give, and they simply just move. They have a life on their own. And understanding that changes everything. Listen, the irony of revenge trading is that you're rarely chasing profits. You're chasing relief. You're trying to remove a feeling, the feeling of failure, the feeling of frustration, the feeling of disappointment. And that's why revenge trading often happens so quickly. Like, there's no patience, there's no analysis, there's no waiting, because relief feels urgent. And the faster you trade, the faster you believe that you feel better. But unfortunately, the opposite usually happens. One emotional trade becomes two, then three, then an entire day's of work disappeared. Not because your strategy stopped working, but because your emotions took control of the steering wheel. One of the biggest misconceptions about successful traders is that they somehow feel less disappointed, right? Like, they don't. Professional traders hate losing too. They're just humans. And the difference isn't about being emotional or not, it's about behavioral. Like, they don't allow one loss to change the quality of the next decision. You see, they understand something that many beginners forget, that every trade is independent. A previous loss does not increase the probability of the next trade winning, and just as a previous win does not guarantee another. And professionals aren't trying to recover, they're simply trying to execute. Look, our ego hates unfinished business. It wants redemption, it wants proof, it wants to say, you see, I was right all along. But the market is not a courtroom. Like, you don't need to prove anything, not to the other traders, not to social media, and not even to yourself. The only thing that you need to prove is that you can consistently follow your process. And ironically, that often means doing nothing. Like closing the platform, walking away, and allowing your emotions to settle before making another decisions. And sometimes the strongest trade is refusing to place one. Imagine you're watching another trader take your exact loss. Would you tell them to double down their position? Would you encourage them to ignore their trading plan? If you're being honest, probably not. Because emotional distance creates clarity. One of the most valuable habits any trader can develop is learning to treat themselves like they would treat somebody else that they genuinely want to help. Instead of asking, how do I win this back? Go ask yourself, what advice would I give another trader right now? And that small shift can create space between the emotion and action. And inside of that space, better decision become possible. So the next time you take a loss, right? Like, pay attention to your first thought. If it's, how do I recover? I just want you to just pause. Like, instead, ask yourself something completely different. Has anything changed in the market, or the changes are only inside of my mind? That question separates professional thinking from emotional thinking. Because most of the time, the charts haven't changed, only your emotional state has. So here's the conclusion: revenge trading is not about greed, it isn't about impatience, and it isn't always about anger. More often than not, it's about the human desire to escape emotional discomfort. Our brains naturally seek balance, closure, relief. The problem is, the market was never designed to provide those things, it only offers opportunities. And certainly not therapy. And the traders who survive for years aren't the ones who never feel frustrated. They're the ones who recognize when their frustration begins making decisions for them. Because the goal of trading is not to recover every loss. The goal is to make the next good decisions. And sometimes that decision It's not another trade. It's about taking a break, taking a walk, and accepting that today's loss is simply one chapter in a much, much longer story. Like, look, the market's gonna open again tomorrow. Like, there will be another setup that will appear and another opportunity will come. The question is not about whether the market will give you another chance. Like, it will. You gotta have that mindset. The real question is, will you still have the emotional discipline to recognize it? Because consistency is not built by winning every single trade, it's built by refusing to let one loss become 10. The market doesn't remember your last trade, and neither should your next decision. So, master your mind, master your market. This is NQ State of Mind. If you like this video and help you out in any way, shape, or form, please like, subscribe, and comment. I promise you, I will respond. All right. You guys have a good trading day out there.